Okay, so yesterday we talked about just how many Zelda Tears of the Kingdom leaks were coming out, and that the entire game is pretty much leaked and modded online, where people are playing through the game currently. I think even some have beat the game. So there are spoilers out there on the internet that have not been taken down yet, so definitely be careful. But I have saw some, and I haven't seen anything story related. I haven't seen anything that's going to really ruin experiences. I've seen some enemies, I've seen some bosses, and I've seen some other things. But before I dive into this, yes, there are going to be slight spoilers in this video, and I will put up a warning before I start talking about them, but they're very slight, just giving confirmation of some things that are actually in this game. I'm not digging into anything crazy or anything like that, but I do just want to first, before we get into the spoiler talk, I want to talk to those that are still a little bit worried about this game, because I know there are some people like me that were watching the previews and said, man, it looks like this game is just focused on crafting and there's not much else to it. I want to talk to those people today because that's where I was, and my job today is to help build up hype for those that still are a little bit on the fence about this game. So, the one big thing that a lot of people were worried about is that this game didn't have much else to offer. Like, it was just going to be this big craftathon where you were building weapons and maybe even rebuilding towns and stuff, but the world was going to stay the same and it just wasn't anything super interesting. I can tell you right now that you can rest assured that there are going to be lots of additional things to keep you entertained in this game. This game is definitely going to be worth your weight, and you do not have to worry about the potential of there not being enough to do, or enough added in this game. I can confirm that there are things that's going to keep players playing for a very long time, and it's going to feel very fresh and new for the most part, with lots of new stuff in the game. See, it's hard to not talk about it and just say this, but you got to take my word. If you don't want to have any leaks before I start talking about them, that's what I can tell you is you guys will be very happy. I think with what I saw, there's enough to 100% make me say that this is not DLC. This is not DLC whatsoever. I can tell you that from what I've seen, no, not DLC. But that's just what I wanted to get out. If that's all you wanted to hear, that's all you needed to hear, you can now leave the video. These next two things I'm going to talk about, like I said, they're very broad. They're not going to surprise a lot of people, but there's something that I just thought I could touch on based on some of the leaks that I've seen and some of the things that I heard about. And some of these were actually kind of confirmed in the past already, or at least hinted at from other people that played during the preview. So I'm going to talk about these now. So yeah, you've been warned. So first thing, the map is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive, in fact. There's going to be apparently 3 different scales. There's going to be Sky Islands, there's going to be the Overworld, and of course the Underground, which is not a surprise. We have seen even a clip of the Underground, just released in a latest trailer and commercial from Nintendo. But we've seen lots of different, clips of Link in the very deep undergrounds, and I don't know what it's for. I don't think there's any type of information right now as to why we're down there, because I know what we're doing in this game, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I don't think there's really any information as to why the heck we're down there, and what's the point of being down there in the first place. But it is apparently a massive part of the game, like not just a big area. Apparently people are saying, now I haven't been able to see like a whole map or anything like that, but people are saying it's just as big as the original map. Yeah, the Underground is massive, and I have confirmed that there is a separate icon for Underground. So there's above ground, Underground, and Sky. But the Underground apparently is massive, and it's going to be a huge world to explore. And people are saying, if you're expecting massive, think bigger. Like, the people are saying, like, it is like extremely deep, extremely dense down there. There's lots of just foliage, and it just feels like a, and one thing that I was predicting a while ago is that Nintendo was going to go with a dark world. And I was really hoping they did something like that. I just felt like it made sense. But what they seem to be doing is not necessarily a dark world, but an underworld. Kind of something, in old underworld ruins of what was, once was part of Hyrule, now kind of buried underground, and ancient civilization stuff down there. Which is super awesome. I mean, seriously, that's amazing. I am so excited to check that out. And that was the one thing that was kind of like, as soon as I heard that, I was locked on board, because we knew we had the Sky Islands, the overworld, like it was kind of changed. Some things were different, but still wasn't quite what I was hoping for. And my prediction was that, you know, the Sky Islands were going to be for like the shrines and stuff, and underground could be like maybe dungeons or something, or like deep exploration into new things. And then the overworld was just kind of like how we use our vehicles to get to different spots underground and to get to different spots in the sky. It was more of the traversal world, and that looks like what's gonna, you know, be happening, and maybe the place where you take quests and stuff from the overworld, which in my eyes can definitely stay the same for the most part. I know some things are going to change, but I am very excited for that confirmation that the, you know, underground is so massive. But number 2, now this one is going to tell you what the game is about. That's it. It's going to tell you about what we're probably going to be doing. It doesn't dig into story or anything like that, but I can tell you in general what is going to be in this game. Once again, a warning, but there appears to be dungeons. I'm not like 100% sure on this. I have seen at least one type of dungeon, it looked like, in my eyes, that was even named. I'm not going to talk about what it's called. I'm not going to talk about what's going on in it. I am not going to talk about anything like that. But there seems to be themed dungeons back, and there seems to be around 5 or 6, which is amazing. And that, you know, was already kind of hinted at. Even Nintendo showed scenes that looked like Link was going through some type of dungeon, or it looked like Link was, you know, watching a dungeon raised from the desert. It looked like that one was coming up out of the sand. So I think it was all, you know, but confirmed that there was going to be some type of dungeons, and we needed something to replace Divine Beast regardless. So it just kind of, you know, clearly made sense that there was going to be some type of dungeons and stuff. But that is awesome, and I can confirm, I will say this, I can confirm there will be dungeon bosses. I don't know about mini bosses and all that stuff, and I don't know anything else about the dungeons, but I have seen a couple of bosses that look like they were at the end of some dungeon or something, but it looks really cool. I am really genuinely excited. I've seen so many different designs of creatures and stuff, and at the same time, I feel like I haven't really spoiled anything because I'm just so excited to check out these dungeons and stuff, because, you know, this is what I needed personally, and I think this is what a lot of people needed, was that confirmation that there are going to be things to do. There is going to be, you know, main dungeons again. There's going to be, you know, stuff to collect. There's going to be an underworld full of, you know, a hidden map that we have to unlock again and stuff. I think there is a lot to be said there. And I think this video might be the video that helps get people hyped, and that's the only reason I wanted to make it today, because there were some people, I read them in my comments, that were still like me a little bit, where they were halfway on board, halfway not. The latest trailer definitely helped, but, you know, people still wanted to have that kind of closure, that there was going to be enough new things to explore, enough new places to go explore, and enough new things to do and objectives in this game. We really haven't seen a single objective through any of the trailers, so I think this might help clear people's minds. This game looks phenomenal. I mean, seriously, and I'm not going to dive into some of the other things I've seen because I don't want to, you know, have any of those spoilers out there. If you truly want to find them, I'm sure you can find them somewhere out there. I'm not even going to tell you where to go look, because I just want to keep it, you know, keep it controlled here if we're going to talk about any of these things. But I am very, very happy to say that there seems to be some really big things coming to this game. But let me know what you guys think of this information with the, you know, huge underworld apparently, and also maybe the inclusion of dungeons. Let me know in the comments down below if that makes you excited, and if you are excited, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Nintendo in general. And like always, I will see you all on the next one. See you guys.